Rights and freedoms. Joining me now is Texas Congressman Keith Self and New Jersey Congressman Jeff Van Drew. Gentlemen, I appreciate the time. You know, if Democrats were capable of manufacturing charges against Trump, now we know what they're going to do to the rest of us. Sadly, gentlemen, your political party is fully funding the attacks on your voters. So I want you both to address this if you could. Will the GOP ever get around or get serious about defending Americans and the Constitution from Democrats? Congressman Jeff Van Drew, you first.
Yes, and we have to. This is no time to be feckless, no time to be weak, no time to be in weak-kneed. I mean, we've got to be strong, and we've got to stand up for our Constitution and for our America and for our people. What happened to this sergeant was so wrong. Minding his own business, turns a street corner, and you have somebody with an AK-47 stick it in his face and you know, was going to shoot him. He saved his own life. There's nothing wrong with that. And anything that you hear to the contrary is incorrect. Now, what we had was a prosecutor funded by Soros, they're all throughout the country, who actually went forward, withheld information, withheld evidence. Governor Abbott's 100% right. Let me say one other thing here. Our country, the United States of America, we are on the precipice. We're on the edge. If we're not careful, if we're not strong, if we are not strong, we will lose the America we know and love. So anybody who's not willing to stand and give it everything they've got to keep the America we know and love doesn't belong in Congress, in my opinion.
Congressman Self, defending your constituents and defending the Constitution, shouldn't it be a priority for every Republican?
That's exactly what we are supposed to do in Congress, is obey the Constitution, lay the foundation of the Constitution across this nation. My colleague is exactly right. The people in this nation better wake up. We better start supporting those strong Republicans we have at local, state, and national level, because we've got to get a handle on this, and fairly quickly. You've laid it out very well in your opening segment, and I encourage everybody to get behind those Republicans that you think might be feckless, to use my colleague's word, but we have got to get stronger on this, and we have got to fight back against this weaponization of the federal government. Jim Jordan is leading that effort in the Congress, and we need to support him and everyone that is on that committee.
All right, gentlemen, I want to get into some other threats out there. I want to get into President Trump. He's warning of World War III under Joe Biden, saying, quote, the only way to solve our issue with China and every other problem we have is to get rid of Biden, end quote. This comes as Syria launches rockets at Israel. French President Macron meets with China to conduct business with their currency, and then says the world must stop relying on the USA, and China ramps up their military drills near Taiwan with no consequences. What is the GOP doing to counter these growing aggressions? Congressman Jeff Van Drew, it's not hard to see under Democrats America that we are becoming the dispensable nation. What's being done to stop this agenda?
Well, not nearly enough. And the presidency matters in cases like this. We need a strong president. I'll tell you right now, Ukraine wouldn't be happening. The problems with China wouldn't be happening. The problems in the Mideast wouldn't be happening. I mean, we were in an amazing place 2.5 years ago. Look where President Trump took us. You know, some folks, they don't like him. He's a little rough around the edges, or he says things that are a little tough. I'm fine with that, because I look at results. And President Trump got results. We were safe, we were strong, we were powerful. We have to go back to that. We need a new president, ASAP. You know, and I do believe in the rule of law, so we just can't get rid of him now unless we impeach him. And I'd have no problem with that, frankly, because he's getting worse and worse. This is a man I don't believe that loves America. I mean, we have people in Congress on the other side that do not love their own nation. And unless we stand up, and I'm with Jim Jordan, he's a friend, I'm on that committee, Judiciary. We're going to be going to New York next week to find out exactly what happened there. In other words, what we want to do is we're going to interview people who have lost lives, people who've lost family members because of what happened, because of this bad prosecutor who's so busy playing, being a bad politician that he doesn't know how to be a good prosecutor. It's full and disgusting.
Well, Congressman Self, Yeah, let me get the last question here to Congressman Self. You know, Democrats having a full-blown meltdown over a federal judge doing what federal judges did to Trump during his time in office. This time, this judge blocking the FDA from changing the availability of the abortion pills in certain states. HHS Secretary Javier Becerra saying all options are on the table, even ignoring the law, even ignoring a federal judge's ruling. Here's what Socialist Squad member AOC had to say, Congressman. Listen.
I believe that the Biden administration should ignore this ruling. I think that the courts have the legitimacy and they rely on the legitimacy of their rulings. And what they are currently doing is engaged in an unprecedented and dramatic erosion of the legitimacy of the courts.
Now, Congressman Self, this follows her calls to impeach Justice Thomas for a vacation he took with a wealthy friend. Congressman, if the Democrats decided to ignore this Texas judge's ruling, shouldn't they suffer consequences? And what would those consequences be?
Well, they cannot ignore it, but I want to focus on a different quote. The Attorney General Garland said this pill is safe and effective. It may be effective in killing an unborn baby, but who is it safe for? Look, abortion is a stain on our nation. And I believe that abortion is the slavery issue of our day. We will either solve it nationally or we will go down. This is a red line for me, and I think it's a red line for many of my colleagues. This is a stain on America. Let's raise the issue beyond that one quote and talk about the pill that kills babies.
Congressman Keith Self and Congressman Jeff Van Drew. Gentlemen, I appreciate your time and weighing in on these weighty issues. Thank you. Still ahead, groundbreaking